we will get started shortly with the program.
Barb, you should mute your computer. You should
Got
mute
it.
your mic.
There's a chance that everyone will hear dogs barking in my background.
I think that will be okay. That will be fine.
My
Well,
little niece is here, and every time she hears it's outside, she barks.
well, it is 2 o'clock. I'm starting to let people in as they show up. I think we're up and going with Facebook Live. I don't know if Brittany, I would say start anytime you are ready.
Okay. All right. Well, that works. All right. Well, hey, everybody. Happy Friday. All right. So welcome to our Friday webinar series. Our webinar today is centered around Choice Neighborhood Initiative. And so we're going to get started. So I'll start screen sharing now. All right, so I am Brittany Roberson, the Choice Neighborhood Initiative Coordinator for NWSP Partners. Again, today our webinar is on Choice Neighborhood Initiative. All right, so just to give everybody an understanding of what this webinar will look like today, we will talk about Choice Neighborhood Initiative, of course. We will go into an overview of our strategy for our action activities, which is also a part of the Choice Neighborhood Initiative. We'll also talk about donations for the community, and then provide you some additional updates, and then we'll wrap it up. There'll also be time for people to ask questions. So if you have questions, what we'll ask is as you come in that you put yourself on mute, and there is a chat feature. If you just throw your questions down in the chat for us, as soon as we wrap up the first portion about Choice Neighborhood Initiative, we'll go back and answer those questions for you. All right, so this is just the welcome. So again, welcome everybody, our Friday webinar series. Also, thing to celebrate is that this is our first time doing our Friday webinar series and linking it to Facebook Live. So hello to everybody that is going to join us or going to look at this later on Facebook Live. Happy Friday to you also. All right, so going into Choice Neighborhood Initiative. Choice Neighborhood Initiative launched in September of 2018. It is a $1.3 million initiative over 3 years. The big goal of this initiative is to develop a comprehensive neighborhood transformation plan, putting a focus in on a public housing development. For us, that is College Court, which is located on 33rd and Highland. You may have seen it, is like two towers, two beer can towers is what we typically call it. It is 251 units, all 1 bedroom, reserved for seniors and those with disabilities. So the Choice Neighborhood Initiative has 3 different areas of focus: neighborhood, housing, and people. So neighborhood is looking at how we can bolster our commercial corridors and improve the economy and safety conditions of the neighborhood for everybody. So that's including those who live, who work, and who play in the near west side. People looks at leveraging our assets of of our nonprofits and our businesses in the neighborhood to make sure that we are offering the kind of services that our residents are looking for. And then housing looks at making sure that we have affordable quality housing that suits the needs of our residents in the Near West Side. All right, so a big part of the Choice Neighborhood Initiative, like I said, is that transformation plan. And in part of that, with the funding that we received for the initiative, $950,000 goes to action activities. So the simplest way I like to put action activities for people is just to say they are basically community improvement projects. So like, I feel like in the city of Milwaukee, we use that term a lot. And so most people kind of go that way. But for us, we labeled them action activities. So a big part of our funding for the initiative goes to that. And so some of you may have participated in some of our previous webinars, but back in April, we put out a call to all of our residents and community stakeholders to submit ideas for community for action activities in the Near West Side. So trying to help us figure out how to spend this $950,000. And so we had about 50 ideas submitted. So it has been great. It has been great reviewing everything that everyone has to say. However, with this, so we got the action activity dollars outside of the projects have to be projects that can be completed in a 12-month span. So we submit our grant in September, or we submit our transformation plan in September. Shortly after that, we hope to find out whether or not our projects went through. And then after that, we start implementation, and we have a year to get those all implemented. And we'll go a little further into detail as we go along. All right, so our action activity process. So again, we had 50 ideas submitted to us. It was all done online. One of the other things that we did was we wanted to make sure that people had the opportunity to submit feedback about those projects. So what we did after we closed the submission of ideas is we gathered all those ideas and we developed a feedback form and placed out. So some of you may have participated in that and submitted your feedback for us. So that happened. We also have, because this is a process, so it isn't something like we get to just say, hey, submit your ideas, and then we get to decide which project moves forward. It's not how we want to make sure that everybody was able to put in their input. So we allow everyone to submit feedback. After that, because we're working so close with the grant, we wanted to make sure that everybody was on an even playing field. So what we did was developed a review committee the projects to review them. And so we got that done. It was wonderful. So 4 people did that for us who aren't involved in the grant. So everybody gets a fair chance. So that was done. From that, we were able to start numbering down projects. So one of the other things I should mention is like, not only did we have to eliminate some of the projects, but some of the projects have been incorporated into the transformation plan. Because again, they have to be projects that we can complete within a year. And some of the ideas that were submitted, we just don't think that we can complete in a year. So we weren't trying to get rid of them. We're trying to work them into our transformation plan as best as possible. So no, if you submitted an idea, you did not go unnoticed. We appreciate you so very much. So we submit the ideas. We had that review team. There was some projects, again, that couldn't be completed in a year. Move them into the transformation plan. Some projects, they were so close in ideas together that we kind of clumped them together in the projects because it just worked better. And then all of us get everything. We get everything we need is the goal. And so our big thing now is where we're at. We have a number down to, I believe, about 9 projects. Was very, very tough. So know that we didn't just go through clicking. There are requirements from HUD of like things that we can and cannot spend the dollars on. So some projects were eliminated because of that. So no, like this has really been a process, and we've been trying to like weave in all of the projects, as many of them as possible, to make sure that our residents are feeling like they have been heard. So know that happened. So our proposal, so we have a draft due to HUD about our action activities on June 5th. So literally next week. So right now we are working on getting those projects up and finalized and working out the grand details of what that will look like. Once that happens, HUD will give us some feedback on whether or not those projects are good enough to move forward, or if there are things we need to change. And from that, we will move things around. After that, we are supposed to submit our transformation plan with the final version of our action activities September 5th of this year. So once we have those submitted, again, like HUD has to have time to review it. Another thing that happens, that's something new per the grant, so we're not quite sure what that looks like yet, is that our projects then have to go and have congressional approval. So I can't tell you much about that, not because I don't want to, but we literally do not know right now. So I can only offer you what I have. So again, like those projects that don't move forward, we're still gonna hold them, because if they come back and they're like, hey, we can't support these projects, then we have a whole list of projects to be able to share with them. We are trying our best to get everything through. All right, so then after we submit our project in September, we are hoping to get approval of our plan and our finalized action activities from HUD by mid-fall. So our next steps, again, is finalizing our final projects, so our final action activities. And then we're gonna submit that initial proposal to HUD on June 5th. And then we gotta go back to the drawing board once they come back with us and say, hey, you can move forward with these. Then we have to make sure that we are getting all of our projects finalized, because again, our transformation plan and our action activities are due to HUD September 5th. All right, so that was all we have for the action activities. So go ahead, if you have some questions about any of that stuff, go ahead and place it in the bottom. I'm just gonna continue to go through the presentation. And once I make it to the end, I'll go back out and then we'll look at questions and we'll get those answered for you all. All right, so as everyone knows, we are still currently safer at home. And so we want to make sure that all of our residents and other stakeholders in the neighborhood have access to valuable resources that they can use for themselves or share with others. So if you visit the NWSP Partners website, we have a link on our website that is that'll take you to a page designated just for COVID-19 resources for both businesses and residents. All right, we are also accepting donations for our residents over at College Court. So we are still, this has been going for about a month now. So some of you may have heard it, some of you haven't, but we're looking for donations of hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, paper towels, toilet paper, hand soap, hand lotion, detergent, gloves, anything to help us keep the building clean, disinfected, and safe for everybody to move around in those buildings, especially because we know that our current population there are seniors and those with disabilities. And just in case they can't get out, we want to make sure that they can stay healthy and safe in their homes also. So if you decide that you are going to make a donation, donations are being taken at the NWSP Partners Waypoint office. So it is located on 35th and Juneau. There is normally a sign out there that says that we're accepting donations here. We normally take donations Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 4:30 p.m. And there will be a bin outside, so there's no contact. You don't have to make contact with any of us. You just drop it in the bin, and at the end of the day, or when it gets too full, we just pull it in, and we try to make donation, or we try to do drop-offs at College Court every other Friday. Next thing is, as we start to reopen our city and our state, moving forward with COVID-19, one of the big things that is come up is eviction and foreclosures. So or you may or may not know, the governor's 60-day ban on evictions and foreclosures expired May 26th. So one of the big goals is just making sure that everyone has those resources if they need help to move forward. So here is a list of resources for people who need help with foreclosure or with eviction as they move forward. So Mediate or Wisconsin Foreclosure Mediation Network is an option, Legal Aid Society of Milwaukee, and then the Tenant Resource Center. Also, if you are looking to become a part of the state's RAP program, you just visit SDC's website. That helps you with rent, and it may also help you with mortgage, but don't quote me on that one. But just visit their website. There's information there about it, and you can also register right there. The next thing is for those who know people who take the bus or take the bus themselves, the Milwaukee County Transit System has been free for a little over a month now. And so moving as of June 1st, we're going back to paid fees, paid fares. So just know that that is something that is coming along. There's contact information listed if you feel you need to reach out to Milwaukee County Transit to ask some questions. I want to be able to tell you that I can answer your questions about the transit system, but I can't. But please remember, like, if you're out, wear masks, wear your gloves if you can. Remember to keep your face covered. I know sometimes it gets hard and those masks can be really, really crappy to have to wear, but we are all safer when we're all covered. All right. So you may have heard that there is the Made in the Near West Side series. So starting in the month of May, we started a weekly series where we've had our local businesses in the neighborhood do cooking demonstrations, and residents or anyone has been able to take advantage of buying these take-home packets to do things. So this coming up Wednesday, we will be featuring Pete's Pops, which is located on Valete Street. Hopefully you've been there and had some of their amazing popsicles in the past. We aren't sure what they'll be making yet, but as that develops more, you'll be able to find that located on our Facebook page. And with that, we have reached the end of our presentation. So I'm going to close this part down and I'll go through because I see we have some questions come in. So I'll go in and take a look at those questions. All right, so one of the questions is, where are you dropping off donations if you have donations for our residents over at College Court? You will be dropping them off at our Waypoint station. Again, that is at 35th and Juneau. It's actually located in on the Harley Davidson campus. The best way I can tell you to remember where to go is if you remember where Family Dollar used to be located on 35th Street, that is the easiest way I can tell you to get there. Again, there's a big sign that's out there that lets you know you can drop off your donations here. And then at any point, if you are going to drop off donations and you're not quite sure where to go before you do it, please feel free to reach out to myself, Barb, or Bobby, and we can make sure that we start pointing you in the right direction. All right, next question. Will there be an opportunity for residents to become engaged with the CNI process now that the action activities have been decided? Yeah, so we definitely want to have everybody involved. It's a little bit harder with COVID, considering that we can't see each other in person, but we are making every effort to make sure that people are staying connected and that we can get you participating in any portion of this that we can. We are still working through it all, so I can't give you full answers to that, but just know we are trying our best, which is another reason why we have our Friday webinar series, to make sure that we are keeping people updated on when this will happen or what's happening. All right, so when the action activities have been implemented. Will it cost residents to help them maintain it? That's a harder question to answer. Overall, I would say no. I think that if there are projects that looks at things on people's personal property, then that's a possibility. All right, next question. Oh, got it. Encouragement, got you. All right, so one of the things we want to also tell people is, like, again, we are doing these every Friday because we want to make sure that we all are staying connected. So please feel free to share this with your friends and your family. I mean, anybody can live, work, and play in the Narrow West Side. So just know it doesn't have to be limited to your household. Please share, please get more people involved. Please join us on Facebook, on our Zoom sessions. Just as close as possible. It's hard to be so disconnected from people currently. Let's make sure we're staying together. All right, are there any other questions? Okay, we will take that as a no. So, when is the next session? So our next session will be next Friday. So next Friday will be, let me pull up the handy dandy calendar. Next Friday is June 5th. So next week we start a new month. So yeah, next week Friday, again, same place, same time, 2 o'clock, only 30 minutes. We don't want to take too much of your time. But please come and visit us. And then there'll be more information that'll come out about who will be presenting. Because normally what we try to do is have presenters every week. This week was a little bit different. But normally we try to make sure that we have guest speakers, so you're not just always listening to us speak. There's other people who can offer resources to you that we don't necessarily have, but or that we know about that can tell you directly. All right. Well, with that being said, if there are no other questions, I'm going to wrap us up. So thank you all for participating in our Friday webinar series. We will continue to keep this going. Again, we want to make sure that we are staying informed and connected to one another. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, to Bobby, to Barb. We have no problem with giving you a hand if need be. But with that, everyone have a great weekend. Please stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to cover your face and wash your hands. Bye, everybody.